Testing 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, and 3. Excellent. Alright, everybody. Thank you for joining me really quickly here. Just wanted to thank everybody for helping us keeping this case going. It's been quite the journey, and I'm looking forward to the next phase of this journey here. I have tried to reach out to Detective Gummert again, and I will continue to try to reach out to him until we can get two simple answers about two of the most important things, I think, at this point, and things that will just, that he could quickly, within a few minutes, probably help us put these things to rest. The first thing, obviously, is the dog feces test. It's very important to know if dog feces tests were ever done or if they weren't done. That's the first thing. The second thing that we obviously want to know is, well, we want to see the image that was taken on January 17th that shows that there was a bullet hole in the living room ceiling. The police claim to have it. So all that we're doing is trying to get a clear answer and see if we can see it. That way, again, we can put another thing to rest and have some conclusive facts as to whether there was or whether there was not a bullet hole in the living room ceiling on January 17, 2015, when the police walked through that door, when the investigators walked through the door, when the BCA walked through the door, when sheriff's deputies, Dakota County Sheriff's deputies, there's a few of them too, and the medical examiner, the cleaners, everybody walks in the door and nobody sees this bullet hole. But the police make it very clear in their 94 pages of police reports, which are the full police reports. According to Detective Jim Gummert, we got all of the police reports associated with this case. But according to that, the police did later find an image that shows that there was a bullet hole in the living room ceiling on January 17th. Just want to make that clear. Hey Lori, hey She-Wolf, just started here. Just wanted to give people a few little updates. Hopefully Sophia and I will come back here tomorrow, as long as my schedule is okay and we still have power over here. Sophia is going to do another presentation, and I think you guys will really enjoy that. So I'm looking forward to it, and I know a lot of people are too. So just wanted to take a few minutes here to just kind of go over some of the new changes. The research documents, you'll notice that if you go to gregfernandezjr.com, you won't find any of the research documents right now. So you won't find any of my website right now. The website is basically down right now. But what I've done for right now is I have moved, and I will continue to move more of the documents. So if you have any suggestions which documents are not there yet, I know the phone records are not there yet, and there's some other important documents that are not there yet. They might be in the Justice for David Crowley and Family Facebook group. If you go there into the files section, you should be able to find all of these files and many more. I went back through there yesterday, and there was a bunch of files that I had not seen in a long time that were posted years ago. So I'm gonna have to go back through some of those. Sorry, just reading some of the comments here. Again, thank you both for joining us, and always appreciate the people we have in the live chat. It can be a really fun place here. So oh, that's okay, She-Wolf, don't worry about that. Let me go here. So what I've done is I've moved all of the research documents. So if you're looking for the David Crowley research documents, all you want to do is go to, or just type in thegraystage.wordpress.com, and generally it'll take you right to this new WordPress site that I'm still working on and just getting up to snuff here. Pretty soon I will have the actual The Gray Stage book that you can just download directly here. So this will be where you will find that book, the downloadable version. And then the print version, I'll probably have a link to lulu.com or to Barnes & Noble and to Amazon.com too. All those will be there. There will be a worldwide distribution for the print version, and then of course a free download for the digital version, which is almost done. Just waiting for the artwork to be completed and a few other things there that I hope to have associated with this book. So just dotting some I's, crossing some T's, that type of thing. But I just wanted to show you guys here. This is how you can get to any of the documents. So if you are looking for the David Crowley research documents, you just go to your browser, whichever browser you have. Hopefully you have anything but Google Chrome. Chrome has just been giving me so many problems lately, so I don't use it. The search engine, I don't have the right one. DuckDuckGo is probably the best one. I don't have that here, so I'm still working on that. But so if you just go to thegraystage.wordpress.com, type that in, and generally it'll take you. Oh, look, it doesn't even take you there. Well, that's interesting. Huh. Well, maybe because it's still new. I'm not sure. Well, that's really interesting. Every browser, I guess, is kind of different, but wow. Okay. Might have to let me put it in up here. And all of the links to this will be at the bottom of my of all of the videos that you're watching here on the Gray Stage YouTube channel. They will all be there. Yeah, less reading for sure. So here we go. So right now we are looking at the site. It's still being worked on and everything. So, but what you do, let's say you're looking for some research documents. You'll see some articles. Scroll down to the bottom of the main page. This is where all of the research documents will be. And as you can see right now, I have probably most of them, hopefully the most important ones, but I'm sure there's a few that I'm missing here. There's a few that I do want to add, so I will add some other ones. But the reason probably why I haven't added so many is because a lot of them can be found in these first three. So obviously you have the 94 pages of the Apple Valley Police Department, the first BCA 485 pages that Dan Henning got, and then the BCA 488 pages, the most recent document download that we have here. The 40-page BCA lab. So if you want to just get to the DNA tests, the 5 different tests that they did, that the BCA lab did, and it gives you everything, all of the items, everything that was tested, and the results. You can just skip to this 40-page document here. If you just want to look at David Crowley's at his autopsy, you can just click right here on the download that. Same for Kamel and for Rania. If you want to read Judy Procknow's 9/11 transcript, you can download that right here. You can also read David Crowley's, what might be one of David Crowley's last emails sent, I believe it was January 17th, and this was sent to Jason Allen. Jason Allen he works in Hollywood, and David Crowley was trying to contact Jason Allen to get him involved in the Gray State project as it was moving forward as a TV show. There's some documents that are related to the guns that are found in the house, some of the guns that David sold, and some of the purchases, some more background stuff, so you can find that there. The search warrants, if you want to see what the search warrants said, you can see some of the dates that they got wrong are found right there in those search warrants. Property and evidence list, if you just want to look at what was taken from the house, what was collected, and what was taken, you can find it all right there. The financial records, this is a big document here of David Crowley and his wife's financial records here, so you could take a look at all that. Very interesting stuff. You just click over here and you can download it too. So I try to make it very easy for you. Let's go back. Alright, then we have the Equifax records. Equifax has recently been brought up. I guess Chelsea Clinton is going to be on the board of that, so I don't know. But the Equifax stuff is interesting. Then they got the 3 things related to Danny Mason and to David Crowley. This is the release agreement that David Crowley sent to Danny Mason to have him sign. What's interesting about this document, just really quick here, is the date. You'll look at the date. The effective date was to be August 1st, 2014. So I don't know exactly when this was sent to Danny Mason from David Crowley, but I would have to assume, based on this, that it was sent to Danny Mason before Ranya's 5th birthday party, right? So that's before the big gathering where all the Gray State team, where everybody was there. This date makes Ranya's birthday party, the tension that was always talked about Ranya's birthday party, this might be more proof that the tension was not between David and his wife. Maybe it was between other people. So I think that's just an interesting little note there. Then we have Danny Mason, the response letter to David Crowley. And if you've never read this, the correspondences here are very interesting. So this was September 26, 2014, that Danny Mason sent that off to David Crowley. I'll probably take his address out there too. There's no reason for that. But so you can read, they're going back and forth on that, on what to do with the Gray State, sorry. And then, of course, you have the email exchange between Danny Mason and David Crowley. And I can tell that this was from Dan Hennon. I think he posted this somewhere. And you can see the dates here, because the dates are very important. Remember, the last one that we just looked at that Danny Mason sent to David Crowley was September 24th. This is September 29th. And then David sends an email to Danny Mason on December 9th. And this is where it gets, the tension is really building. Now, we're talking about days, weeks before David dies. Danny Mason responds on December 16th, and he wants David to call him before he signs anything. So that's very interesting. Then we have, of course, David's notepad. What I did is just took the pages that were in David's notepad, put them here. It's only 24 pages, so I was very, very disappointed with that, because there should be 59 front and back. So obviously there should be 100 over almost 120 pages, basically 118 pages, but we only have 24. So the only question was, are these the only 24 that had anything on them or not? Then we have Kamel's last text message, which is between her and one of her friends. I forget which one, but this goes all the way up until late December 20th. So, yeah, nothing crazy here. Nothing sounds really crazy from Kamel. It's just some regular stuff, but it's planning for the future. I do believe that it's one of the most important things that you can gather from this, because we are talking about, I believe, December, right? So this was another interesting thing that was just like, yeah, she's definitely planning, after the holidays to get together, things like that. And that was some interesting stuff that Kamel was chatting with her friends with. And then, of course, Kate Crowley, the only thing I've really seen on Kate Crowley, the obituary, which is just like a little one-page thing here. And that's really it. And there's really nothing else more on what happened with Kate Crowley. So that's another interesting aspect of this case that always gets overlooked. That Kate Crowley died just a few months before the case was even closed, right? Because the date is, she died August 9th. She died a few days after what would have been Ranya's 6th birthday. Before the case was closed. I think case closed in October of 2015. So I just wanted everybody to know that if you're looking for the documents and you can't find them anywhere, you can always go to thegraystage.wordpress.com and you will find them here. I'll try to put the link in every description of every video on the Gray Stage channel, the YouTube channel, and everywhere else. And I've also kind of just been experimenting a little bit with the SoundCloud, just some free SoundCloud stuff for people that prefer audio. So I haven't really done anything with this yet, just kind of messing around. But there are 6 tracks here so far, and I'll probably be cycling those out as we maybe I'll just take whatever the latest one is and kind of put it up here, put it on SoundCloud. But you can also go, if you do just want to listen to some of the audio, you can just go to soundcloud.com, type in the Gray Stage, and it should be one of the first things that pops. So if it doesn't pop up, then you could just go to people, and under people it's definitely the first one there, the Gray Stage. And I'll be adding audio. I don't know if I'm going to do new audio content or just audio versions of videos that are made. When the book comes out, I do want like an audio version of this book, but I don't know how far along we're going to get with that, so we'll see. She says that's probably why they closed it, because she was the one asking. And Lori agrees with that. It's definitely possible. It's one of the big issues and one of the more quiet things that has happened with this case, because she was one of the only people looking into it, asking questions. And I think Kamel's mom, if she was in better health at that time, I think she probably would have been too. We know that Kamel's dad was, even if it was more privately than publicly or anything. We don't know Kamel's dad's view on this case, or on the group, the people looking into the case at that time. Who knows what he was told afterwards and everything else. But when Dan Hinnon spoke to Kamel's father, it sounds like Kamel's father had most of the same questions that we all had. That was weird. Alright, so that's the SoundCloud. I'm going to close that one here. Also, when you go to the Gray Stage, you can see this is a crazy channel. It's going to be very hard to find. But if you just go to YouTube and search for the Gray Stage, it should come up. Search under channels, and that should come up too. So hopefully later on, once it gets more views and more subscribers and all that drama, then I'll be able to change the channel name to, over here it'll say the Gray Stage, basically. But in the About section is also where you're going to find, this part will be probably in every description video here. So I make sure that we still have the most important things, where you can find the documents, the audio clips, where you can find this YouTube channel, where you can find the Justice for David Crowley and Family Facebook group, and of course where you can find the Apple Valley Police Department photos and the BCA photos that we have. So direct links for those are both Dropbox links. Wanted to make sure everybody saw that. I think that is about all. So there's anything else down here. So yeah, so it's a couple images. I might add some more images. I'm going to try to keep everything here on this front page here, on this front facing page. So that way all you have to do is just kind of scroll down. As we get more articles, and I'll probably put each chapter of the book will probably be in this section here. And so if you just want to read one chapter online without having to download it, into a PDF, then download Adobe PDF on your phone and all that stuff. You'll just be able to go to the website and click on each chapter. So I'll try to make this as easy for everybody as possible. This part here is just for this will probably be on the hardbound cover of the book, because there will be two versions of this book. There will be obviously the paper copy, and there will be a hardbound copy for people that want, like me, who love reading and need that hardbound copy. There will be that as well. And then there will probably be more of a, so the paperback will be a 6x, they'll both be 6x9. Paperback and the hardback will be 6x9. And they'll probably have a smaller version, one that I will be able to pass out and give out, and hopefully go to some local conventions, some festivals, art festivals, whatever I can, wherever I can get a booth, and try to pass this stuff out and try to get people to look into this case, who have people, family who are soldiers, who have a daughter, a son, a granddaughter, anything like that. I mean, this case can relate to so many people in so many ways, and it's just about how we reach people. You have one chance, most likely. When I'm sitting there at a convention, when I'm sitting there in my little booth, and somebody walks up and is going to ask about this, I got a few seconds to convince them why they should look into this case, why they should get this book. And hopefully we'll be able to do that. I am going to try to work on a pamphlet. I've never created a pamphlet. Honestly, I find them really, really boring. But I know for a convention or something like that, I'm going to need it. I'm going to need a pamphlet, a 1-page, 2-page thing. And so if anybody has any experience with that, or if anybody wants to kind of help me with that, just to give me some ideas of what to make sure should be in there, I would definitely like that. And I definitely need that. Let's go back to some of the comments before we shut this down. Lori asks, has anybody ever talked to the Alam family? Yeah, Dan Hennon has spoken with Kamel's sister and Kamel's father. I've not reached out to Kamel's mom, and that is one thing that I won't do, out of respect for their family. I know that that's something that they would not appreciate. If I was in their spot, in their culture and everything, I would not appreciate that. Honestly, I would have never reached out to Kamel's sister, but then she reached out to me first. And that's what happened with a lot of people. I didn't really reach out to the people that I wanted to reach out to. There's a few that I have, and there's a few that I still need to. Before this book is out, there are a few people that I will need to at least reach out to try to get some type of a comment for this book. I don't know if they're going to be willing. I don't know if they want to be involved, but I want to at least give them one opportunity to be a part of this. This book is not really about that, and that's why it was not a big deal. It's really focused on the documents. It's focused on what they say. So anybody that I would need to reach out to, I should have everything here in these documents, in the police documents, in the BCA documents. That's where it should all be. That's not the case, obviously, but that's where it should be. So I'll just leave it at that for now. Let's see, and that was from Lori. Thanks for that question. Lori She-Wolf says, with his military, he was probably told behind closed door that he needed to leave it alone, Kamel's dad. Yeah, that's possible. It's definitely possible. I think we all know that Kamel's dad was not happy with Eric Nelson's sloppumentary. And so, since we know that that's true, I know that that's true. I believe 100% that that's true. 200%. That's why they didn't want to be part of it. I don't know. I don't know if that would make him more open to it now. I mean, at some point, he's got to be like, all right, this is enough. My daughter has been dragged through the mud. My son-in-law, my granddaughter, all of this stuff. I think some people think that the family is going to take those feelings out on us. And it's an easy target. It's really easy to take it out on people that are looking into it. But really, they should be taking it out on the investigators and how crappy of an investigation this was. That's where their hatred, that's where their anger, that's where all of that should be. That's where the closure is. That's where they're going to get closure from a proper investigation. And they are the biggest tool to help us get a proper investigation. And I do believe that that's why they are being surrounded by vipers, by snakes, by idiots, by people who hopefully don't know any better because of their own mental capacity. But you never know. Let's see. Shulf also says, I have a feeling Kamel's parents know what happened. That's possible. Highly possible. And Lori says, I think so too. They'd have to. I think that's why they aren't talking. It's fear right there. Makes sense. Makes sense. I don't know if I 100% agree with it, but I think it's a very valid points there, and things we'll keep an open mind to. Let's see. Shio says, I have experience in throwing pamphlets away. All right, good. Then you're gonna be one of my test subjects here. When I get the pamphlets, I'm gonna send them your way and see how long it takes you to digitally throw it away. So that will be the big challenge right there, because if it's done right, it might cause some people to look further into this case. If it's not, then it's going in the trash. And that's just the way it is with those pamphlets and everything. Like I said, at these conventions, I don't know if any of you have ever been to any or ever been on the side where you're in a booth trying to get people to come to your booth and to look at your products and to discuss the stuff that you have on your table. But it is one of the most difficult things, and I'm also like that. I'm not a pamphlet person, so if you hand me a 4-page pamphlet, I'm probably not going to read it. If you hand me a 4-paragraph pamphlet, maybe there's a better chance. Now, if somebody gives me a book, chances are I'm gonna read it, but you just never know. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Yeah, it would be nice if somebody would let something out, but we'll see. You just never know. So, we'll get a pamphlet, we'll get a big banner, we'll have some books, something to give to people that will, just show them maybe just 4 bullet points that are like, look, this is why the case should be reopened. And yes, part of the plan is to go into Minnesota at some point. That's definitely something that I've been praying about for a long time. And once the book is done, I do believe at some point that will need to be done. It's got to be done. So I'll be looking into that further, and I know some other people have talked about things like that. So we'll see. Let's see. So that's all I wanted to kind of show you there. And I think that is about it. We have probably the Facebook, maybe. So if you type in your search engine, try not to use Google, but type in the Gray Stage Facebook, that should take you to the Gray Stage Facebook page, which is being continually updated. New things are being added there all the time, as much as possible. I think you have to be signed in to really see things. I don't know, but maybe not. So I'll need to update a lot of this stuff here. But going back to the research documents, I guess one of the last things to talk about here, the research documents, is It would be nice if somebody, if you have a website, if you have a place where you can host these documents, it would be nice to have them in multiple places. I know Dan Hinnon has them. If you go to uglytruth.info, you can find some of them there, and you can find a lot of the photos there too as well. And you just go down here to David Crowley Family Deaths, and I'm going to ask if Dan Hinnon, if he can put some more documents in this section here. So you can just go to police report, crime scene photos, BCA photos, a downloads, a 911 call, the rise, was David suicidal, radio interviews, a lot of good stuff here for researchers. But I think I need to ask him to put in some more stuff there too. So Lori asks, so just what would it take to get it reopened? That's a really good question. And, it's either going to take the right person in law enforcement, a good lawyer, or a family member. But there are options. And that's where a lot of the conflict is coming in, because obviously there's people out there who don't want the case reopened. And if it was, such a open and shut case, it wouldn't be a big deal. But there are many of us who do want the case reopened for good reason. And all we have to do is let that reason be known to the right people. So there is no clear answer. It's whatever God's will is. But we have options, and there are things that we can do. And as long as we're not just giving up, as long as we don't stop trying to do something, I think that will be one of the biggest things. So even with everything that we've found, it's just getting it into the right person's hands. That's really it. If that takes a congressman, if that takes the feds, the FBI, I don't know right now. I don't know what it takes, but I know that there is a very good chance that we can one day get the case reopened. I truly think that. And it's not going to be, me. It's not going to be us. It's going to be getting it into the right hands of somebody who has the power to reopen this case. So it's in Minnesota. To be, the short answer. It's in Minnesota. Unless there's some way that somebody, in the military could help, I don't really see how they could. It's a civil matter. But there's people who have tried, and there's people who are continuing to try to help to get the case reopened, to get justice for this family. So I think so far we've done a really good job at getting justice for this family, just by pointing out all of these different things. But as far as in the record books, in the legal terms and all that mumbo jumbo, yeah, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot. And I don't like the idea that we have to have some alternative theory in order to get the case reopened. I think that's just a losing battle. I really do. I think the best way to get the case reopened is to focus on the case, on the investigation of the case. Some internal affairs type thing or something. I'm not really sure. But the Dakota County Sheriff's Office, maybe, who knows, medical examiner might help. There are options. And there are people out there that know more than what they are telling. If David is not guilty, then we got a big problem. They have a big problem. And we need to get to the bottom of this as much as we possibly can, if it be God's will. So, but it would be nice if these documents that are here on Dan's site, that are on my site, it would be nice if they were also hosted other places, just in case our sites go down or anything like that. It gets hacked. You just never know. So I would encourage anyone who has their own website, who can download these documents and put them up. I'm going to ask Christian Coffins to see if he can take a lot of these documents and just put them onto darkdocs.com. I think that that would be a good place also to have these documents there too. So we'll try to work on that as well. And I got a few other people who are kind of hosting it offline and in different places. So we'll see. Yeah, there's the murder on the tracks is definitely a good. That's a whole nother one that I hope to see what I can do, if I can do anything to kind of help with that case, just to get the word out. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how far we get with that one. But a lot of this stuff is just never letting the case die like the people did, where the people die and we just create our own story and just go with that, and that's it. That it can't be like that. It has to be more. So we'll see. Like I said, we can all do something, and it doesn't have to be this great one thing, the snap of a finger that gets the case reopened. Everything that we do is working towards that. And so I just say, hey, just keep it up. Keep up the great work. Keep hope going. Keep hope alive. Like Obama. But really, we do want to keep real hope for this case going. And that's all we need to focus on. We don't need to focus on any resistance or any haters or anything like that. This is how we get the case reopened, by focusing on these documents, by sticking to what they say, and by getting it into the right hands. Somewhere out there is a future prosecutor, there is a future investigator, there's a future private investigator. There's someone out there right now who is going to help us get the case reopened. They might be in school right now. They might be getting a degree right now. This case might be used as a test case in some cases. And I think the more awareness that we spread, the better chance we have of something like that happening. Alright, good peeps. Just want to say that. And hopefully we'll come back tomorrow or within the next day or a couple days here, and we will have a special presentation by Sophia. Until then, this is Greg Fernandez Jr. The date is October 10th, 2019. Thank you all for joining us, and until we meet again.